Hey guys, I'm down here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 201, Look Ahead to the Future. Now, it's another week, another review, and still no table, still no desk or anything, and still no chair. I'm still sat on the floor. I was hoping to figure all of that out today, but it's raining outside, so why? But so this chapter, another short chapter. I had a couple of issues with it, but on the whole, it was a good chapter. We start with Yorozu showing us her trump card, which is a cannon aimed directly at Kendo, and she's point blank range. I was like, oh my god, like this is gonna be amazing. But we have Kendo basically temporarily and momentarily shitting herself, but realizing that Yorozu wasn't gonna pop a shot at that range because it could very realistically kill Kendo. And she's like, okay, she's not gonna shoot me. So she shits herself for like a second, and she's like, wait, she's not gonna shoot. So Yorozu turns her cannon towards the wall, which is separating her. Then there's a wall, and then there's the rest of her team. So Tokoyami, Hagakure, and Aoyama. And she shoots something over the wall, and Kendo tries to divert the shot to try and change the path of the shot, the trajectory, but it wasn't aimed at the wall, which is what Kendo thought Yorozu was shooting towards. But Yorozu actually shot over the wall to try and get a package to her team, so she doesn't divert it as much as she'd hoped. Now, with that, Yorozu looks to be pretty much done at this point in the chapter, forming one final thing with her quirk around her chest and shoulders. We see something popping out, and we find out at the end of the chapter what that was. Now, I thought Yorozu here should have really put Kendo down. I mean, like, it was a dangerous position to be in, but she had a cannon, and her knowledge of weaponry is supposed to be immensely, or is supposed to be immense. So if she had some sort of concussion shot she could have designed, or anything like that within the cannon, or something basically non-lethal that she could have fired at Kendo at point blank range, that was the time to do it. And instead, she like in a situation like that, you have to take care of yourself first. I mean, like, strategically, like, don't look after your team in that situation. They can all die. You take out whoever you're against so that you can continue to be an efficient and effective and a living member of the team. And if she'd taken out Kendo, she would have been able to go to where her team were and possibly help them out. They wouldn't have been taken out, I don't think, as quickly as Yorozu was anticipating. So we then go to Tokoyami and company, who are trying to rescue Aoyama. Now, I'm going to say outright, Aoyama has been a dead weight, and if he wants to be a hero on the same kind of level, on par with the rest of his peers, he needs to really pull his finger out of his ass. He is a complete dead weight. He provides nothing to any team at any point. He is the most wasteful character in the whole of My Hero Academia, besides being a kind of like a comedic character. So Tokoyami thinks about how well Class B has strategized against Class A, and realizes that if Class A can't work out their locations, they'll eventually be hunted down and picked off. That's the nature of what's going to happen. So just as he's thinking that, Tokoyami hears Yorozu's shot. It kind of bounces across. He hears a boing, which was weird. I was like, did it bounce first, or like off the wall, or is boing the thing that the sound the cannon made? I really doubt that. But he hears the shot from beyond the wall, and he realizes it must be something that's going to aid his team in victory, because he knows that's coming from Yorozu, because no one else has something that can make a sound like that or anything like that. So he flies up to this shot with Hagakure and catches this goodie bag with items in it to help them kick some ass. So we then see this really awkward interaction between Kurohiro and Komori, the mushroom girl, where he tells her he captured Aoyama, and she tells him that's great, but we still need to capture 2 more, or specifically, you still need to capture 2 more. Now, Kurohiro seems to be unsure of what to say. He's stuttering and stuff like that, different from the confidence he showed showed around Tokoyami. So does he have a thing for Komori? Is that what it is, or is this simply his true personality? He's a lot more reserved, and he doesn't really know what he's going to say to people. I think it might be one of the two, and I think it might be that he has a thing for Komori. So Kurohiro and Komori believe they're hidden, and they're talking about, like, we're completely hidden from the rest of Class A, only for Tokoyami to charge straight at them, and they're just like, yo, what the shit's going on? So it turns out that Yorozu's bag gifted her team with antifungal sprays and infrared goggles designed specifically for Tokoyami. Seeing as he's kind of the powerhouse on the team and can take out the most people and is the most effective fighter, he's the one that's been given the infrared goggles. So Tokoyami's edginess killed me. Like, he's a complete edgelord, and it completely killed me here with the whole stare into the abyss and the abyss stares back. I was like, oh, bruh, really? Like, you're gonna say that line specifically? I was like, yo, this guy. So Hagakure pops up behind Comic Man, and then we see both Tokoyami and Hagakure just really lay the hurt on their opponents. You know, Tokoyami's attack looked pretty badass. I think it was called something like black. I forgot what it's called. Black something. Black and, death. Some shit like that. So Tokoyami's attack looked pretty badass, not gonna lie. And Hagakure just uses what I assume are regular kicks and punches to destroy Comic Man. She's absolutely ending his career. So Tokoyami even captures Kurohiro by throwing his black cape around him. I thought that was an intelligent thing to do. Whilst Dark Shadow captures Komori. However, Komori here shows her true worth and reveals Tokoyami's inability to be merciless. She grows mushrooms in his windpipe, which is a really scary thought now. Like, just thinking about it, it's like, oh shit, her quirk enables her to grow mushrooms within people's freaking anatomy. So what if she did that within someone's aorta or something like that? Can she do that? Grow like little mushrooms? Oh, there we go, you're freaking done. A heart attack, a myocardial infarction, you're done. What about in the brain? She just gives people strokes for days and shit like that. You're just like, she has a really scary ability if she can do stuff like that. She can do it within the windpipe. Maybe it's not, because it's not actually internal. It's more, it's open to the air and stuff like that. So maybe there's a limit to her ability. But if she can do it within like vessels and stuff like that, it's game over for everyone if they don't knock her out quickly. So he basically she forces him to choke out and lose consciousness, I think, which is what's assumed. Now I feel like Tokoyami had enough time to turn around and clock Komori around the face, so just across the face, knocking her out and rendering her quirk useless. But he seems to have panicked and just failed. As soon as he realized he had mushrooms in his throat, what he should have done was turn to Komori and slap the shit out of her. But what he did was he realized he had mushrooms in his throat, and he was like, oh, and then he just dies. And I'm just like, dude, like, surely you had enough air to at least turn around and try to knock her out. I mean, like, you've got enough strength to, with Dark Shadow, just lamp her once, she's gone. The mushrooms are gone. You'd think if she's knocked out, does her quirk just completely erase itself? To do all the mushrooms disappear? I don't know. You guys tell me. So meanwhile, Hagakure continues to kick the shit out of Comic Man, only to be gripped by Kendo's large fist, stopping her in her tracks. So Yaoyorozu made it as difficult as possible for Kendo, a really intelligent move again, attaching herself to Kendo with these cables, and that's what we saw at the end of their fight. It was essentially these really thick steel cables, essentially, that sprouted from Yaoyorozu, and they wrapped around Kendo. And Yaoyorozu still had the cannon attached to herself, so essentially Kendo was lugging around a cannon to try to get to her team. But what this means is that first, Kendo had enough leg strength to lug around a freaking cannon, which is bullshit. That's big as bullshit, but okay, we'll deal with that. But also, Hagakure couldn't hear Kendo lugging around a freaking cannon right next to her, which is bullshittery number 2. So with all this, like, those are my main issues with the chapter. Like, really, she lugged around a cannon. I mean, her fists are meant to be particularly powerful, but her legs, I'm like, I don't know. So with all this, Class B win. Midnight is impressed by Yaoyorozu's leadership. I'm just like, yeah, Yaoyorozu like had some good ideas and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Kendo's plan was the one that technically worked and enabled her team to victory. So Kendo should be the one receiving the praise for outsmarting anyone. I mean, like, Kendo does say, like, oh, I don't feel like I won, but you did win, and your team won based off of your initial plans, essentially. Like, things did go a bit apeshit towards the end, but it was your initial planning that helped your team out and put everyone in the situation they were in. The initial separation Yaoyorozu suffered from her team was because of Kendo's idea. So her major plan to separate Yaoyorozu from the rest was a success, and that's what basically won them the game. So I do feel like Kendo was a little bit there was praise for Kendo that should have been there from midnight, but it wasn't. Instead, it was Yaoyorozu, and I'm just like, really, Kendo won that battle. But it's also worth remembering that Hagakure and Aoyama really aren't worth too much in terms of like what they can provide. I think my stomach just went, but in what they can provide. I mean, Hagakure is invisible. Yeah, that's cool. But what else can she do? She can't actually help people besides possible information gathering and stuff like that, because she's invisible. And then you have Aoyama, who's pretty much useless and has been pretty much useless this entire test. So in terms of combat ability and stuff like that, Aoyama and Hagakure really didn't provide too much. But that was the end of the chapter. One Punch Man is out on Manga C, so I'm gonna go check that out. My internet actually blocks that website, so I'm gonna have to use data to go and check that out. I'm gonna try and get that review done either today or tomorrow, and then I'm off to Edinburgh on Monday. So you're not gonna get anything from Monday onwards. So probably not Taizai next week, but I think Taizai might be on break, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think Taizai's on break. I hope it's on break, because then I don't have to do. Then I don't miss out on a week's worth of reviews. But let me know what you guys thought of this review. Let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys hopefully either later today or tomorrow with One Punch Man. So I'll see you guys in a bit.